All right. Hi. So welcome to week 3 in CIS 101. And you might be able to tell I have a friend over here. So we're going to be talking a little bit more about social media this week. And in Zoom this week, we're going to try and experiment because I love to experiment and we'll see how it goes. So you'll have to show up to find out. But while I've got you here, let's take a look at what's going on in class this week. So you'll notice that there is a new block open, week 3. And there's some good details here, the video, the checklist. If I haven't mentioned it before, like only 1,000 times, look at the checklist first, print it off, use it to check things off. So the main idea this week is we're going to start looking at some of the social issues with social media. And there's no better place to do that than with a TED Talk. And so when you open this link, there are literally 3,500 talks, right? Don't go crazy. This is sorted by newest first by default. So kind of make sure that you've got it sorted by newest. That'll make your search a little easier. And what your task is to watch 2 of them. Find one that is pro social media, that shows the good aspects or talks about the positive benefits, and see if you can find one that's maybe anti-social media, or videos that discuss both pros and cons, because believe me, there's plenty of pros and cons, okay? And if you want to know the deep down, in-depth cons, right now on Netflix, there's a movie called The Social Dilemma that we watched the other night, and it's kind of like the attention economy, but on steroids. Anyhow, if that one doesn't freak you out, nothing will. However, there are lots of really good aspects to social media. So your job in the think section is to pick 2 of these and watch them. That's not too hard, right? And then we're going to come, whoops, let me back up. And then we're going to come down here to the learn section. Somehow this is just jumping all over the place on me today. So we're going to come down to the learn section. And there's a kind of a nice article. It's on Medium though. And so I made a PDF version because you can't, like if you've read all your articles for the month, you can't get in. And so this is a beginner's guide to academic Twitter. And it's sort of aimed at teachers, but not necessarily. So there's a lot of good stuff there on how to build your Twitter credibility and how to, and it applies to any social media, to be honest. There's another article here on how to use hashtags, because hashtags are super cool and super easy ways to sort through the information that you're trying to find. If you can figure out what hashtag's being used, you can use it as a search term. And then once again, a link to the PDF of the textbook of chapter 5. And so definitely make sure that hopefully your textbook's on order, because like I said earlier, I only have a couple of the chapters in PDF form. So let's get down here to the doing part. Now, first of all, there's a carryover from last week, if you don't remember. There was the assignment from last week was follow 50, and you should have had that posted by Sunday. Okay, there's still time to do it. Get it up if you don't have it yet. But now your job is to go in there and take a look at what several other people wrote. What you're trying to do is find like 10 more accounts to follow. Like you followed 50, that was good. That's a good place to start. But follow 10 more. And the way you're going to find those is you're going to go look at least 5 other people. You know, you might look at 10 other people, see what they wrote, look at their list, see if there's anybody interesting there, and follow them. And then come back to the forum and just make a comment for them and say, hey, I followed so-and-so off your list because I thought they were really interesting, or, you know, whatever. It doesn't have to be a big comment, but you have to comment on at least 5 other people. So if you only do 5, then you got to find 2 more to follow from each one. If you do 10, then you only have to find 1 more, but your goal is to get 10 more accounts to follow. Anyhow, so that's a holdover from last week. This week, we're going to take those videos you watched up here, the TED Talks, and in the social media discussion, I'm going to ask you some questions. Like, what did you think about that? And do you agree or disagree? What are the big issues to think about? Any unintended consequences? And so create a discussion post to this forum for that question. Now, it wouldn't be much good to learn about Twitter unless you actually got to tweet. And so in this assignment, I'm going to ask you to tweet at least 3 things. Now, your goal for the whole semester is to tweet 2 to 3 times a semester. Okay, and we'll talk about what you're going to do with those. But for this first week of actually actively tweeting, I have 3 things I want you to tweet. Okay, I want you to find an interesting article or resource that has to do with technology and relates to technology in some manner and share it. I want you to ask a question about something that has to do with technology. And then I want you to, you're following these 50 people, right? Read some stuff they're posting and then reply to them. Make an intelligent response. You might be surprised, they might actually answer you. And so you can either ask them a question or just tell them, you know, some insight you had from reading their thing. And yeah, so 3 different types of posts that I want you to make this week. A lot of people overthink Twitter. You just type in your response and you add the hashtag, the VVC CIS101, like it says here, and try to find at least 2 other relevant hashtags. So let's say I decided I'm following Elon Musk and he posts something about a SpaceX rocket. Okay. So I reply back to him and I say whatever I am going to say. And then I add my VVC CIS101 tag. I might also tag it with hashtag SpaceX, hashtag going to Mars. You know, it depends on what the topic is. So come up with at least 2 other hashtags besides our class hashtag. Here's one tip to make it easy to follow Twitter. I keep it on my phone, okay? And so when I have a few minutes, I can just flip through and, you know, see what's new. So what you're gonna do with this is there's a form. So submit all of these tweets here. And on the form, it's pretty straightforward. I just need your email address, your name, okay, and the 3 tweets. Now, here's hopefully something useful. Here's a video that shows how to copy the tweet and how to copy the direct link to the tweet, because you'll need to put both of those in. So pay attention. This one's share a tweet, you know, share an interesting article, ask a question, reply to someone that you're following, okay? So that's the assignment, that's this assignment. And then finally, if you haven't already logged into, let's go back up here. If you haven't already signed up for Zoom, make sure that you get that done. Sign up for Zoom. Okay, we have 3 different times. We have 2 times on Tuesday and 1 time on Wednesday. Those were the times that just seemed to work out best for all the people. Even if you can't participate, like you should try to participate because there's no way to really replicate what we're doing. But even if you can't participate, you can still respond to the discussion questions. So those will be posted, the discussion slides will be posted to the Zoom chat on Discord. All right. So just follow the instructions there. And we'll talk tomorrow and Wednesday about everything that we're going to do there. So I think that is mostly what we have going this week. Take a look at the issues, try out using Twitter. Some of you are expert Twitter users, like I've seen your accounts. You're following lots and lots of people. But for this week and for the rest of the semester, try posting stuff that's relevant to class and use that hashtag, because then we can search just on that hashtag. We don't have to see all the other stuff people are posting. So I hope you have a good week. And my friend here is going to be watching things to see what you guys do. Thanks.